I'm here in the aftermath of the citizen hearing on disclosure with Senator Mike Gravel, and it's been quite an intense week. You've been very outspoken, as have some of your colleagues as well. I think a lot of people have been really surprised at the intensity and at the unfolding of events and evidence and testimony this week. So what is your take on what you've just been through?
Well, the testimony has been so credible, and those who gave testimony were so well informed. And so we've really exhumed a body of knowledge on this stuff that any reasonable person looking at it has to conclude that there's an extraterrestrial presence that's monitoring our planet. And we're not mature enough to be able to handle a communication with them. And nor are we scientifically, well, I wanted to change that. Apparently we had testimony that one of the presidents of the defense contractors said that we have the technology to take ET home. Well, if that's the case, and they're withholding that technology, which is obviously the case, then they are denying the planet with the ability to have an entirely new energy system that would be of benefit to all human beings. And so if that is being withheld, which obviously the indication is that it is being withheld, then that's criminal, and these people should be indicted.
At what point does treason come into the picture?
Well, they control the government. Wall Street, the military-industrial complex, you name it, lock, stock, and barrel. The last election cost $4 billion. That was for president, Senate, and House members and governors. It's appalling. And let me repeat, our government at the White House level, the president, the Congress, and the Senate, and the state houses is owned lock, stock, and barrel by Wall Street and the military-industrial complex. And when they talk about, globalization, well, we have a global government. It is called corporations. That's who controls the world.
So how do we get out of this mess? How can things be changed so it can be what it needs to be and should be, and what the taxpayers are paying for, which is transparency?
There's only two venues for change. One is the government, where the problem exists, and the other is the people. The government won't empower the people, but the people can empower themselves. And I have legislation, and you go to our website, ncid.us, and it's the National Citizens Initiative for Democracy. And that is legislation where the people, through an electoral process, goes around the government completely. We don't need the government.
Much like this hearing.
Yes, go around the government. People, what we need 60+ million people to vote in the affirmative. That's right, money and organization. And at my age and my lack of money and lack of organizational ability, it's limited. But somebody will pick up on this, and when they do, it's Katie bar the door, because the answer is the people.
And you said that we do not have a democracy.
No, not at all. We have representative government. And what happens on election day, the people are structured into taking their power and giving it away to elected representatives who we just pointed out have been bought lock, stock, and barrel. And they're decent people. I'm not negating this. It's just that the structure of representative government is failing us now. It has never been good, but it's failing us now as we go into the complexity of the 21st century. Stop and think. We have had explosive advances in technology and science, and we're governed by a system that was structured in 1787. Give me a break.
Things change, don't they?
They sure do, but unfortunately, the structure of government has not changed, and that's what must change, and that's what this legislation, the National Citizens Initiative, is all about.
How is it that Congress and people in Washington and in the government can be so uninformed about an issue like this? There are many issues that...
Here, you've got to understand that the people in Congress are good. They're all good. Of course, they're failing. The structure is failing. Here, you had a situation when the Obamacare legislation passed to Congress. 70% of the American people wanted single payer. It didn't even get into legislation. We just had gun legislation that lost. 80% of the people want these checks of examining people who are going to buy guns. 80% didn't even pass to Congress.
Quickly,
That says something.
that says a whole lot. You also said that you didn't think a congressional hearing would be worthwhile. It needs to go to the UN.
That's right, because you see, needs to go to the General Assembly, not the Security Council, because the United States controls and manipulates the Security Council. And the UN, which I would like to see reorganized, but at this point in time, if we had the sponsorship of a global conference on extraterrestrial presence in this planet, then that would be a giant step ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.